Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to Roma Theory as Tiago Pinto officially resigns as the General Director of Roma. His contract will be sorted out the 3rd of February. He will officially be free. So he will continue to work in this transfer window, in this winter transfer window, to get this very much needed defender. And then starting from when the transfer window will end, the 1st of February, he's gone. And the 3rd of February, as reported by Roma, with an official statement sent by the Fredkins, his contract and all of that are going to legally end the 3rd of February. Is it a good choice? Is it a bad choice? We're going to discuss this today. We're gonna look at what he did, and then try to analyze the question, which is did he do a good job at Roma? That is ultimately the question. First step to revolution is here. General director gone. Lina Suluku is working for the new general director. She is, I should say. Respect Lina. She's working onto the new general director, who obviously will take his place starting from the 3rd of February. This decision needs to be key, because we need somebody who's got a good eye and who's got a good sense of intuition. We don't need somebody who's good only with a lot of money, because that is getting Pinto again. We need somebody who's good when it comes to scouting. That needs to be the pick. If our pick is somebody who's terrible at scouting and he's great just because, just give him the money and he's great, it won't work out. And this is exactly why, in my opinion, Pinto didn't work out 100%. Pinto in itself is a good general director, but he got placed in a situation at Roma where he couldn't spend money, and therefore he didn't result in a good general director because he doesn't have a good scouting and he doesn't have a good eye to catch players. And that's exactly what failed, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's this: he himself was good, but he got placed under some circumstances that made his work virtually impossible for somebody who is not used to work with scouts, is unused to, get surprise signings and gambles and all of that. Pinto's somebody who needs money to work. And I can actually guarantee you that if we were in a position where we would spend a lot of money, Pinto would have been great. Pinto would have been great because he's one of those general directors who, if the team has the money, then he can get you the players. But he is not good in terms of scouting, and that is and that's exactly why he got a lot of players that were useless players. We're gonna discuss this in a second, but I think another thing which has to be said, I think the Renato Sanchez episode was the trigger to everything. I think the Renato Sanchez deal was the trigger to him resigning, because he bought Renato Sanchez, and then in the post summer window press conference, he went in front of the mics and said, if Renato Sanchez fails, it's only my fault. Renato Sanchez has failed, so he looked like an absolute idiot, and I think that was the trigger to everything. So Renato Sanchez is the reason why Pinto lost his job. We can blame Renato. No, but jokes aside, I think it was the trigger. I think it was the trigger reason, because that's not what a general director does. A general director shouldn't place his own personal motives and his own personal obsessions in front of the team. It's definitely not what a general director needs to do. They need to look at the well-being of a team, and he got a lot of players that, unfortunately, not only the players themselves didn't give anything to this team, but most importantly, a lot of money got spent for a lot of useless players. You know, the fact that we spent 32 million euros combined to get Shomurodov and Vinya, in my opinion, is embarrassing. Yes, it was in his first season, and in his first season, we had more money to spend because we weren't targeted by FFP. But that's a lot of money to spend on players, especially now we're in this situation also because of these deals, which were calculated in a bad way. You know, we spent that amount of money for players who realistically are probably worth 5 million euros, and it's at their max. So he made a lot of mistakes, and it would be a lie not to look at these mistakes. Again, in other signing that made no sense is the Renato Sanchez signing, the Chilik signing. You can blame, you can not blame. It's definitely not one of those which the kind of, yeah, it's not one of the worst, but it's definitely not one of the best. Christensen is improving, and I'm giving him a lot of faith. I'm liking Christensen recently, but maybe it should have been somebody better. But again, it would also be criminal for us not to look at what Pinto did bring, because again, as always in life, it's very easy to look at the mistakes, and it's very complicated to realize that Pinto did get good players too. Pinto, in my opinion, what Pinto was good at was getting good free transfers, if that makes sense. And again, you're probably going, well, they are free transfers. Any general director can get free transfers. In fact, everyone here can get free transfers, because in a free transfer, you don't have the art of negotiations. And negotiating is exactly what a director needs to do. So, yes, it is true that with the free signings and the free transfers, Pinto he definitely gets the pros and the benefits and the applauses for it, but at the same time, it doesn't show his class. It doesn't show what he's there to do for. But he got Dybala as a free. He got Matic as a free. This summer, when everybody was questioning striker, no striker, he pulled Lukaku. These are signings which definitely also did happen because the Fredkins themselves were available, flying to London, flying to, I don't know where Dybala was when he signed him, and just a lot of personal convincing. There were also some signings which happened because of Mourinho convincing. But that's again, looking at the players that came to Roma during the Pinto era. As much as we had a lot of scraps and a lot of deadwood and a lot of players which didn't work out and that we spent a lot of money for, we also had good players. And at the end of the day, we won a tournament, we won a conference league, and we reached the Europa League final with Pinto signings. So, was it disastrous? No, it wasn't. Could it have been better? Yes, it definitely could. But just out of curiosity, Pinto obviously did this morning. He announced his departure to the team during their training session. He announced his resigning to the club, and he also came out with a statement which said, "After 3 years, I consider my cycle at Roma concluded, as I prepare to leave, and I would like to thank all of those who made my stay in this club and in this city special. First of all, I would like to thank the Fredkin family, who allowed me to live a unique experience and to serve a historic club in a country where football is passion and tradition." So look, again, I wish him all the best. We joked with Pinto a lot. We joked with Pinto a lot. There are a lot of memes this summer, now in these moments. There's a lot of memes of Pinto and his difficulties. Another thing that we have to say is the fact that Pinto worked at Roma under some very hard circumstances, and not everybody is able to work well under these FFP sanctions. So again, as I said before, it was one of those. I think it was one of those. He was one of those directors which is a good director, but but just it happened at the wrong time, because with all of these FFP, Pinto uh, didn't um, didn't get the best out of his experience. What I will say, because there's a lot of people going, how will this affect Mourinho? As far as I'm aware, Mourinho never liked Pinto, though. I think we're all aware of this. Mourinho has always gone in front of the mics, kind of attacking Pinto in secret ways. So I don't see how this is going to affect Mourinho's. Again, Mourinho might not extend. Mourinho might extend. Again, that's the question of the moment, but that will continue to be the question of the moment, and definitely won't be answered just because this has happened. As far as I'm aware, and as far as I made up an ideology of both Mourinho and Pinto never got along with each other. A lot of the signings that Pinto has made were signings that Mourinho never asked for, which again links back to FFP, but it also does highlight the fact that Mourinho and Pinto were never really on good terms. The Renato Sanchez signing this summer, Mourinho never wanted it. A lot of players that Pinto got in desperate occasions were signings that Mourinho was like, what do I do with these? So again, I don't think it's directly linked, and I think it won't be directly linked, because if you look at the relationship, I'd actually think, and I'd actually guess that seeing this, Mourinho would be quite happy with Pinto leaving. But again, this fact of Pinto resigning doesn't unlock anything regarding Mourinho's future. So it can mean that Mourinho extends, or it can mean that Mourinho's contract expires and doesn't get extended. But that's the question of the moment. So this doesn't get resolved. This event doesn't resolve this question. So yeah, looking at future general directors, it's important because oh no, by the way, let's go chronologically. Because yeah, Pinto is resigning, but Pinto has a very tough job of getting a defender done in 28 days, basically. 27 days. And I hope that the defender won't come on the 27th day countdown starting from today. This team needs a defender. I've said this yesterday in the match reaction. I've said this yesterday in the live watch along. I've said this in the match preview. We need a bloody defender. So Pinto, yes, you've resigned. Yes, you're officially gone. And yes, you are out of Roma's projects. But you need to end your experience on a good note. This team, these fans, and this club need a defender. If not two. But that's obviously if miracles happen. So you could argue that announcing his resigning during the course of the window is a mistake. Of course you can argue that. And in fact, I would also buy that argument. In my opinion, it's a bit of a mistake announcing his resignment now, because it's in the middle of his work. How will Pinto now be motivated to get a defender and give him to Mourinho if he knows that the day after the January window ends, he'll be off? Again, maybe this announcement should have been made the day after the transfer window ended. Because, when the hell will this defender come? I am losing my temper here. Because I keep on fixing in my mind that I will wake up, open my phone, and see that we've got a defender. And this never seems to happen. I mean, look, this team is playing and is just putting on fire their future in this next month. In this next month, we will know a very important statement if we will be fighting for top four. We will know if we will be proceeding in Europa League, even though the playoff is in at the start of February. We will know if we will qualify for the semi-finals of the Coppa Italia. In the next 30 days, the future of Roma, a lot of the future of Roma will be decided. In the next 30 days, the future of our manager will also be decided. And why the hell have we still not got a defender? It just amazes me. It amazes me. Um, I pray that this defender will come anytime soon. Please do it. I don't care who it is. I do not care who it is. Just get somebody in just to say that we can start with a proper defender in games. I'm losing it because I really want to see a defender. And I think we're so desperate that we need a defender right now. So yeah. But in terms of again, Lena is definitely gonna take time to look at new general directors, look at their CVs, what they've done in past clubs. Apparently, the names that have been gathered as of now are Modesto from Monza, which isn't bad because I mean you look at Monza, and they were newly promoted side 2 years ago, and last season they scraped Conference League. It clearly means that their project is a successful project, and it clearly means that their general director knows what to do in signing scouts, in having a good scouting department, and signing good players and quality players. I wouldn't mind that guy. The other name is Massara. He was already a Roma director a few years ago, and recently he was Milan's director with Maldini next to him. I would only take Massara back if he comes with Maldini, which is again, it's bit as a Roma fan. I'm like, well, why do I need Maldini in my own club? And why not bring Totti back if he's legend and heritage and all of that? But Maldini and Massara operated really well at Milan. You know, they were the reasons Milan won that league title out of nowhere. Leao was a Maldini and Massara signing from Leo. Teo Hernandez, that's good scouting from Maldini and Massara. Tomori, that's good scouting from Maldini and Massara. Menyan, that's good scouting from. They created a good, strong Milan side. So those aren't bad at all. These names aren't bad, but they need to be people who know about the art of scouting. Because as I've said, I'm gonna end this stream just like I started it. The next general director needs to be somebody who's got a great sense of intuition and who's got a great eye, like Sabatini. We need somebody like Sabatini, who got Nainggolan from Cagliari in a winter transfer window at 4 million euros. In fact, I don't even think it was 4 million euros. Who got Salah from Fiorentina for 15 million euros. Who got Manolas from Olympic Lyon at like 3 million euros. Who got Alisson Becker when he was an unknown goalkeeper in Brazil at the age of what, 19. So yeah, it's just we need somebody who knows, and who knows this, who's got a good sense of intuition, who would rather work with young players and grow young players rather than big names, because we've clearly learned this under Mourinho and Pinto's time at Roma. Big names under FFP sanctions are not going to work out because they are all injury prone and they are scrapped from other teams. So we need a general director who is willing and is ready and is capable of entering a new philosophy and a new project, maybe. That's what we need. In terms of names, we'll probably know in a bit, in a few weeks, because the second Pinto leaves. The second Pinto leaves, the other director will be announced. And it's very important in terms of organization that we don't take a lot of time to announce the new one, because the sooner we prepare the next season, the better. If we wait time and waste time, we know what that brings. So the early, the better, and in a few weeks, surely it's going to be announced. Oh, what's this cough? My God. You know what? I mean, call me repetitive or not, but it amazes me how after 3 years, basically, there are still people who go, let Jose just sign the players he wants. It amazes me. It amazes me. I actually question the IQ of these people because, and I question their ability of understanding things because, yeah, I just don't get how people say that when Roma literally has a 1.5 million budget in the January window. But yeah. Right, I'm going to catch you maybe tonight with another stream if we've got some transfer news. Otherwise, I'll catch you tomorrow with the preview for the Atalanta game. Don't forget to like, subscribe, let me know down below your thoughts and opinions on this. In fact, let me see the poll, because I put a poll. Was this a good decision or not? What do people think? Let's see. 61% says yes, it's a good decision, and 39% says no, it was a bad decision for his resignment. We'll see what happens, and we'll see, most importantly, who our next general director will be. Talk to you soon, take care, and yeah, see you. Simo out.